everyone, so happy you're here today. We're going to be making a really fun interactive card, and this is the wiper card. We're using the Awesome Otters. So cute. So here's the card closed, and then you open it. Hi Stampers, this is Dawn, and today we're going to make the wiper fold card. And you can see here when you move the card, you have a little pop-up. And the Awesome Otter stamp set is perfect because you need, well, I needed 3 to make this card. So let me go ahead and show you what you're going to use. I'm using a piece of the Misty Moonlight, and the designer paper is the Simply Marbleous. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. It's kind of a play on words because it looks like marble. And this is the design we're using today. So it's got a little bit of the balmy blue and the Misty Moonlight in there. So now this paper is free during Sale-a-Bration, which is ending on the 28th, which is this upcoming week. So when you spend $50, you get to pick an item out of the mini catalog from Sale-a-Bration for free. And this paper pack, and it's a large paper pack, there's 48 sheets, so there's a total of, 6 designs or 6 colors, right? So you have 6 colors, so there's 8 sheets of each, right? 6 times 8 is 48. Yeah, so you get a big pack, which this is some of my pack that's left over that I've been digging through, okay? So we're going to be using the Misty Moonlight color with the balmy blue. And then this is another $50 item, the Awesome Otters. And I like this stamp set because it had the 3 otters. So I can use them 3 different times. One for the pop-up and then 2 accents over here on the right-hand side. Isn't that cute? And then also, you are utterly awesome. And then it says thanks. Now the thanks is from the Amazing Thanks dies, which look like this. Now these are the circles that I use for this card. So this is in the mini catalog right now till I believe the beginning of June of this year. Okay, so I went ahead and die cut all the pieces out. The circles are using the layering circle dies, and the smallest one with the basic white I went ahead and cut out with the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, and these are about 1 5/8 inch circle. And then the Misty Moonlight size circle, I used the 1 7/8 size circle. Okay, so I cut out 4 of each. So these are all the pieces we're going to use today. So we're going to use the Misty Moonlight for the base, and you're going to need a piece cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then this piece is cut at 2 by 8 1/2. We're going to score both of those pieces. Then the Simply Marbleous designer paper. This piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is cut at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now I wrote on the back of these because they look very similar in the size, but they're not. So these two are the exact same. These both are cut at 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then this piece is going to go up at the top, like right over here. But we're going to make mine a little bit different today. So we're going to use this piece up here, and this piece is cut at 1 1/4 by 2. Okay, so those are all the pieces of the designer paper. Now this is the mechanism for the wiper part of the card. This piece of the Misty Moonlight is cut at 1 by 1 7/8, and then I have a piece of window sheet. Hopefully you can see this here. Piece of window sheet. This is cut at 1/2 inch by 2. All right, so let's grab our paper trimmer first. We're going to do some scoring. All right, so we're going to score both pieces on the 8 1/2 inch side across the top at 1 1/2 and 3. And you're only going to score one end. Okay, so one end on that one, and then one end on this one. Same score lines, 1 1/2 and 3. Fold the score lines. I'm going to burnish with my bone folder really quick. Okay, so now we're going to make this card. This is the way the card's going to fold. So you're going to make it like, I guess, let me show you like this. So this is the valley and this is the mountain. Okay, so this is going to be on the right hand side. Okay, so then this piece is going to go like this. So this is going to look like this. And then you got your back piece that looks like this. Okay, so they're going to go together like this. Okay, so let me show you again when they're apart. This is the 2 by 8.5, and then this is the 4 1/4 by 8.5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some tear and tape. We're going to go ahead and build our card. I'm going to put tear and tape down here at this end. And I'm going to put tear and tape down on this end, down here. Okay, so I'm going to remove the adhesive backing on this flat end over here, and we're going to put this right on the edge of the outer edge, and then also on the bottom edge of the card. Just like that, okay? So now you can see how the card is coming together. Okay, so now, but before we put all the wiper card together and the stamping, we're going to go ahead and attach all the designer paper. Okay, so let me grab all that. I'm going to use the liquid glue to put my designer paper on. So now this piece is your 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go back here on the back side. Okay, then this longer piece right here, this is your 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. That's going to go right on the front. Okay, and then this piece is going to go right up here. Remember, this is the not the same size of these two. This one is the 1 1/4 by 2. This is going to go on the top right hand side. 1 1/4 by 2. And then these two are the exact same. So these are 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. So we're going to put these on the bottom left. Okay, so now this is the way the card's going to look when it's closed. Isn't that beautiful? All right, now let's go ahead and do some stamping. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my otter, and I'm going to color it and show you exactly what I did. But I went ahead and die cut all my circles out and colored them. But I'm just going to show you what I did. So we're going to stamp our otter. Now I found that stamping it first and then die cutting it out was a lot easier. So now here, let me show you this one here. So this is the one that I've already colored. Once I stamped it, then I took that smaller of the two circles that I had mentioned previously in the beginning of today's video. I took the smaller size and I die cut that out just like that. Okay, and I did that to all four, the 3 otters and then also the greeting. And then I also took the next size up and I die cut all the Misty Moonlight. I do have the Balmy Blue, which I wanted to show you what that would look like because it's kind of cute. It's the same circle. I just thought bringing in another color would show you what it would look like if you wanted to change it up. So instead of using the Misty Moonlight, you could use the Balmy Blue. Okay, or you don't even need to use a circle. You can just put them on there like that if you wanted. Okay, so but I'm going to stick with the Misty Moonlight. So let me show you how I colored them. So these are my blends. I used the Granny Apple Green because in the stamp set you can see here that one of the otters is holding a fish, which is right here. And I used the Granny Apple Green combo for that. So I used the dark and the light. And then for all my otters, I use the ivory marker, which is also in a combo with the bronze. But I felt like with this card here, the one that I made first, this one, I used the crumb cake light and dark, and I felt like the dark crumb cake and the Misty Moonlight made it more of a darker feeling card. And I wanted it to be a a thank you card, so I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. So I colored the belly of the otter with the ivory, and then I colored the otter with the light crumb cake. And then I added the blue where the water was, like for this one that pops up. I added the balmy blue dark. And then I used the smoky slate dark for his nose. And then on some of the otters, I outlined it with the pool party light. You guys know I like to do that. All right, so let me go ahead and color this little otter here really quick to show you what I did. So I'm going to use the ivory first to color in his belly. Now remember, you're going to die cut out the otter first before you color it. I would color the otter after I die cut him out, so I'm not wasting my time coloring the whole otter. I just color exactly what was cut out. So I'm just going to color the upper half of the otter so you can see what I did. I'm going to take the crumb cake light and I'm going to color in the otter body. Okay, so I figured that's probably enough to die cut. So then I would take the circle. Of course, you would die cut him out. Okay, all right, so then this is what it should look like after you die cut him. All right, so I went ahead and did all that. So let me show you all my otters. Here's the one with the fish, and then here's the one that's gonna be popped up. And then there's the one I just colored like that one. And then I also cut out the "You are utterly awesome." So then I got my 4 circles. Those are all going to get layered onto the Misty Moonlight and the circles. And then I also have the thanks, which is in the white, the thin line thanks. And then I have like the bubble letter and the Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of these together. Okay, so there's my thanks. Isn't it cute? All right, now I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal to attach my otters to my circles. Okay, so we have all our pieces put together. Okay, so now we have our mechanism that we're going to use for our wiper part of the card. And what we're going to do is I'm going to clear all this out of the way so we can focus on this. Okay, so this is your 1 by 1 7/8. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this corner up to this edge. So it should make like a triangle right up in this right hand side here. Just like that. And you might want to use your bone folder just to burnish that edge really nice. And then also what I found is if you fold it both ways, it helps make it move a little bit easier. Okay, so as of right now, this is what your little mechanism should look like. All right, now we're going to grab our card. And we're going to come into this part here. So there was a reason why we didn't attach this end yet, because we're going to add our mechanism. So now I brought in a white gel pen. So I'm going to line these score lines here so you can see them right where they are. Remember, this was cut at 2 by 8.5, and we scored it at 1.5 and 3. So we're going to be working at this 3-inch score line. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this edge right here where this is folded up, and we're going to line this edge up with that score line. And then you're going to line this edge up at the top of your bridge part of the card. So you should have your line lined up right here with the 3-inch score line, and then your long piece edge should line up with the card at the bottom edge. Okay, now we're going to take some glue dots. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I'm going to add, just a handful of glue dots just along this triangle edge right here. You could also use the tear and tape like we did down there, but the glue dots are really simple and easy to add. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the glue dots. Okay, so I got my glue dots on my triangle. Now we're going to line this back up. This edge right here where we folded this, right? This edge is going to line up with that 3-inch score line. And then you're going to line the top edge over. Now all we're going to do is we're going to fold this down. Just like this. Okay, now we're going to take this longer part here and we're going to fold that down. So now this edge should be shorter than your cardstock edge here, your 2-inch. So that's why we cut it at 1 7/8. Then you're going to take your window sheet. This is the 1/2 inch by 2-inch, and we're going to attach this with one glue dot right at the top edge. And let me zoom in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this glue dot edge right here with the window sheet. I'm just going to add that right to that edge right before that turn starts with that triangle fold. I'm going to add that window sheet right there. Okay, and that's your mechanism for your wiper card. Now another thing you want to keep in mind is whatever image or greeting you want to add to your window sheet, you want to make sure that it's not going to be as long as your panel right here. Okay, and you don't want it to be as wide as your 2-inch panel, because then it's going to stick out. Okay, and you want it to be able to tuck inside of the card, because if it was longer than your part of your base card here when the card is closed, this mechanism will hinder the closing part of the card. So you want to stay within this boundary of right here. So right here is your boundary of that edge, and then the width of the base right here. Okay, so now when you're closing the card and you're popping this up, this is where you want to put your little otter right here. So I'm going to take another glue dot and I'm going to put this right on the top of my window sheet. I'm actually going to take another glue dot. I'm going to put one right there. Okay. And then like I like to put the image on the pop-up section so I know right how it's facing myself when I'm looking at the card. But you want to dry run the card to make sure it's closing up properly too. So you want to make sure it closes underneath in between that 2-inch. Okay? And then that's it. So let's go ahead and close up the card. We're going to take this edge and put it right over here to this edge. Just like that. So you can see that it's hidden when it's closed, and then when it pops up, you can see it. I love it. All right, now let's decorate it. So we're going to put our thanks onto the front right down here. We're going to use our liquid glue. Put this right down here. Thanks. And then we're going to pop up the otters. I'm going to pop this one up first. Put him up at the top. He's so cute. And then the one with the fish is going to go on next. It's going to go right down here. And then we have our "You Are Utterly Awesome." That's going to go on the inside part where the pop-up piece is. So I want to make sure that it's not going to hit that section. So I want to put this right over here. See, and then it's all about the otters. So when the card is opened, you'll have the 3 otters, the one that pops up here. Isn't it cute? All right, so now you tell me, which one do you like better? Do you like the lighter colored otters? Or do you like the darker? Now the darker is just using the dark crumb cake and the light crumb cake. The lighter shade of the crumb cake is used for the body of this one, and then the ivory is for the belly. So, but I used the exact same items for the card. I just colored them slightly different. Okay, so that's the wiper card. I hope you had fun. And if you haven't made one of these, please give it a try. You'll have a lot of fun, and it's even more fun to give away. All right, so now I have all the items listed down below. Then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. And if you like today's video, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.